All right, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 8 o'clock on July 6, 2021, a very warm, hot, humid day, very bad air quality, very hazy skies. That's what the skies looked like. Just really thick the air was here in the middle of the island. Maybe it was a little better on the south shore, but just very thick, hazy skies. A lot of this was from the smoke. You had that plus the humidity and the heat, and this is what you'd get to deal with. Then around 6:15, we had cumulus clouds coming in as a line of thunderstorms quickly approached. Actually came a lot earlier than we were expecting. And around 6:30, skies really started getting dark. I was in Hicksville, and you could see here some of the cloud formations. A really beautiful shelf cloud right there wound up developing right there with this storm that came in. Actually came in two waves. So there's the first wave. You can see here. Here's a storm cloud coming in, really impressive. The first wave came in and brought a gusty shower. And again, you're looking at the shelf cloud that I got to see here. Really, I have a video of it. Don't worry, you'll get to see that. But these are some of the pictures here. Just this amazing looking shelf cloud. Notice the tree bending over from the wind gusts with that gust front that came through. Pretty impressive. And then it poured. We had a shower, and then it was just a break for a little bit, and then it really came down with even more gusty winds. And that's when I started seeing the lightning. You'll notice in the video, I'm like, where's the lightning? I keep saying where the lightning was. Well, it was in that second part of the storm that hit. And it was a pretty impressive storm, I might add. So let's go look at the radar right now. We'll get to that in a moment here. First, got to look at the radar. These are what the storms, this is the line of storms that move through here. We're going to use this radar here. And you can see here, there it goes, moving through. We'll move this back again so you get to see. Here it goes, moving through Long Island, and has yet to move through New Jersey. It's going to be moving through New Jersey shortly, actually, if it holds together. That's just a forecast loop right there. That's why I didn't show that. This is the other radar from the National Weather Service. And you'll see again this line just kind of, it looks like it's fizzling a little bit, but it was bowing. Oh, look at the gust front. Look at that. You can actually see the gust front. Take a look at this right here. I don't know if you can see that, but look at that gust front there. That's it right there, the gust front coming through Toms River. Right there. There's that gust front. And that gust front could actually set off some additional cells. Looking at the lightning, you can see plenty of lightning here going on. There was more and more lightning as the storms kind of really just blew up right over us. There was a line, and then when they got to the middle of the island, they just exploded, and they just really took off and intensified quite rapidly. Here's what it looks like on the satellite image, and you can see all the smoke that we had to deal with today, too, on top of all this. So let's do the 36 frame here. So there's all that smoke, really heavy smoke. And I'm sure that might have maybe enhanced the thunderstorms a little bit. Let's take a look and see what the thunderstorms did as far as power outages go. Quite a few of them, actually. We have, pull this out a little bit, 6,268 customers without power on PSEG Long Island right now. A lot of them in the middle of the island, actually. It's probably from the gust front. A lot in the middle of the island. Some larger outages on the North Shore, as you can see here. And then as you head, look at that again. Why are there no power outages on the South Shore? Oh, there actually is one right here. But you can see, by and large, there aren't that many compared to the middle of the island. And we all know why that is. Better infrastructure down there versus here. And that's why. And maybe the storm was a little worse here, too. I mean, maybe it weakened a little bit. You can see, actually, we do have some outages over here in North Bay Shore. These may all be connected. So, yeah, we do have some scattered power outages from the storm, even one in Riverhead, too. If that gust front came through, it was pretty damn impressive. I'll tell you that right now. Pretty damn impressive gust front that came through. And it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if the Weather Service actually has any storm reports. Let's see if they do have any storm reports. Severe thunderstorm watch, I guess, will remain in effect until 10 p.m. with a few more hours of it. But you can see flood advisory for Suffolk County on this map, heat advisory for Suffolk County as well, and then special marine warnings as well for these storms as well as they move offshore. I'm not sure if they have anything here about local storm reports Probably not, being that the storms just hit. So, well, when I get some, I'll make a separate video about it. All right, how does that sound? So, that's what I'll probably wind up having to do. So let's go take a look at the conditions across the area right now, and obviously the temperatures have dropped a lot. And it looks like, well, look at that. We've got a wind gust to 38 being reported at Farmingdale Airport. So it looks like they had a wind gust up to 38 with this storm. So, yeah, the winds. And look at this. We got a gust to 45 at Islip MacArthur. So we do have a wind gust to 45 miles an hour reported at Islip MacArthur. So these are the kind of winds you're getting with this. So nearly 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts is going to cause some damage with these storms. And if we go and we look at Islip right now, where is Islip right here? You'll get to see it's 72 there right now. Now, if we look at the historical observations, you'll see before this thing wound up hitting, you will see that temperatures were in the 80s, and then the temperatures dropped really fast, and the wind shifted to the northwest when that happened. And the temperatures really dropped. And the difference was even more significant over there. And you can see 1 hour precip. There's going to be a lot of rain with this, too, by the way. I'm sure we'll have to look at the rainfall as well and see what kind of all the rain that we got from it, too, as well. Let's look at Farmingdale, where it's 73. We got a lot to go through in this weather update. A lot to go through. Here's Farmingdale. And you can see, again, look at the temperature drop when that came through. Went from the mid-80s to the mid-70s. Pretty quick when that wind shifted to the northwest. You got that. This isn't a cold front. It's just a localized downburst of cold air that was associated with these storms that caused that to happen. So pretty impressive stuff. And cool down all across. But if you go where the storms haven't hit yet, like New Jersey, like Tom's River, for instance, it's probably still hot there, though I know the gust front just came through. So here's 86 being reported at Lakehurst right now, dew point 72. It was in the 90s, but it dropped. It was in the 90s, but it dropped. But the gust front just came through right now. You can see they are reporting thunder right there right now. So that's the gust front that you just saw. But south of this gust front, you're still well into the 80s. This isn't over yet. It may be over for us, but not over for everybody. So let's go to the historical observations, and actually we can look at peak wind gusts being reported across our area, though it doesn't really show that 45-mile-an-hour one. It does not show that. We can go to 5. I don't know why it doesn't show it up. The 45. I don't know why this doesn't show all the peak wind gusts, but that was 45-mile-an-hour wind gust at Islip. Whatever. Let's go take a look at what the high temperatures were today. And see, now it decides to work. All right, I don't know what's going on here. Let's do the high temperatures since midnight. That is not right. All right, this is definitely malfunctioning. I don't know what's going on. Let's just fix this and let's start again. No, wait, 72. No. That is not correct. What is going on with this thing? As those were not the highs today. All right, we're going to have to refresh this page and figure out what the hell's going on here. If it still doesn't work, then I don't know. Some kind of glitch. Let's go to the high temperatures here. All right, that's more like it. So you can see, yeah, we were around 90 degrees, middle of the island. Let's see if we can find Carl Place in here. I know we got all these colors from all the watches and warnings. 91 in Carl Place. You notice only 85 in pretty old Wantagh, and only 70s at the beach. So while we were suffering with the low 90s, they were living it up on the South Shore with a pretty nice breeze. But let's go take a look and see what Islip hit. Islip still managed to get to 84. Okay. So mid-80s at Islip. 83 at Shirley. 81 at West Hampton. And of course, it was very humid, too. You throw in the dew points in the 70s. You know you're dealing with a lot of humidity. And then warmer on the North Shore. You can see probably more like mid-90s there. It looks like LaGuardia. Still way hotter at LaGuardia than it was in Mineola. Let's see. 97. So that's pretty hot versus 88 at JFK, 91 in Central Park for the highs, and then you see plenty of those mid-90s when you're in New Jersey there. I think, let's see what Newark got up to. 90, that's Harrison. Newark Airport got up to 97. So a hot spot. You can see mid-90s in much of New Jersey. Not just the southern part where Toms River was. Actually, it might have been hotter further north. Some people have told me, oh, further north in Jersey, it's not as hot. No, the whole state is hot. Even like if you're in Essex County, it's hot there too. Mid-90s there. 97 at Caldwell, which is Essex County Airport. Yeah, very hot, unbearably hot in Jersey, if you think it was bad here. And let's see, downtown Toms River got up to 93, 95 in the north part of Toms River, Lakehurst 92. I'm surprised it was not hotter there. Actually, it's kind of a surprise, actually. So let's go take a look at the other map we can look at, which is Winter Map, which now has decided not to work. We'll try it again. Chrome does not like too many weather windows open, whatever the case is. So again, let's go take a look at some of the stations around our area. So we'll first start with Carl Place. We're at 73, and I think this will give us the graphs. You'll really get a look as to what. Oh, I didn't mean to close that on the window. You know what I forgot? I forgot something. All right, hold on. Gotta go back to the weather and hazards map because I forgot to show the precipitation, the rainfall. My mistake. I mean, I could show it through the other thing, I guess, but I like doing it through here. I like showing you both sites. All right, let's move this up to 2 here, so you get a chance to see how much rain fell from these thunderstorms. I'm surprised, only 1/4 of an inch. It really did come down. Yeah, it seemed like it was more than that. 1/4 of an inch, that's it. A little more toward the south shore of Suffolk. I don't know. I think that maybe these readings haven't completely come in yet. Well, that's why we're going to look at the other site. So again, let's look at Carl Place. We're at 72.6. The dew point is 68.5. Rainfall 0.23. That was it. Surprisingly, got up to 91 degrees. The dew point maxed out at 76, by the way. That is very high. But look at what happened here. You'll get to see what happened here. So you can see we were hovering in the upper 80s to around 90 almost the entire day. No sea breeze to speak of here in the middle of the island at all whatsoever. So all you folks on the South Shore were enjoying a nice sea breeze and living it up. We were dealing with sweating our you-know-what off. You can see here that, look at this temperature crash when this storm came through. It literally dropped from 88 to 73. That's over 15-degree temperature drop, and I felt it when that gust front came through. Boy, it felt like somebody just put the air conditioner on out there. It's like Mother Nature just flipped the air conditioner on. You can see, look at the wind gusts with that gust front that came through. Really impressive. When you look at this on the chart, you can really see clearly what wound up happening. Very impressive. Let's see if I can find something around Hicksville, which is where I was. Let's see if we can get that. All right here. It says Salisbury. It's really Hicksville, but close enough. You get a chance to see. They got 0.24. I'm surprised it wasn't that much more. It really did pour, but I guess it didn't pour for very long, so that's why we're waiting for the information to come in right now. I'm not buying that 96 degrees. That is way too high. But you could just take a look and see how it fell. What this shows here is that their station is not properly shaded. Because once the sun went away, the temperatures dropped quite significantly. But you can still see how it just, boom, dropped off a cliff right there when that gust front came through. I don't know if I could find another station in Hicksville. Maybe this one's more accurate. We'll just like to find one because that's where I was when the storm hit. Oh, Accurite. Yeah, these Accurite ones, I think that somebody told me the Accurites are not accurate. Or were they the better ones? I don't know. But this day, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody told me about that. Looks like there was missing data for part of the day here. I don't know if they had a power outage or what. But, again, you clearly see, again, look at that falling off a cliff right there when that gust front came through. Really impressive. Now, if we go further to the South Shore, let's go look at Seaford here. Temperature probably shot up when the gust front came through because, again, they're on the south shore, so they were enjoying a nice sea breeze while we were dying. The station's reporting a dew point down to 58, by the way. Not sure if I'm buying that dew point drop. Maybe there was a big dew point drop with it, but you can see, actually, they're reporting 91. They got up to 91, according to what this station is saying. I don't know if I believe that. But again, you can see, boom, look at that drop there. As far as rainfall goes, 0.01. No, that's not right. I don't know. Maybe that's not the station I use. I thought that was the one I used for that area. Let's try this one. South Wantaw. So maybe a little more representative of the South Shore here. There's a lot to talk about. And I got to get to Hurricane Elsa, too. Yes, it's a hurricane. That's right. Got to talk about that. I said don't be surprised if it would become a hurricane again. And sure enough, look at what happened. So not a whole lot of rain being listed here in this. So it looks like the storm, maybe it missed them, the worst part of the storm. See, they were only in the mid-80s. Still not a comfortable day, really, for them. Dew points in the mid-70s, but just not as bad as here. But you can see, look, boom, there's that drop. Even they got the drop because that thing dropped the temperatures like you wouldn't believe, when that gust front came through. Let's go take a look at Babylon now. Oh, some stations missing from Babylon. I wonder if there's a power outage here, because usually there are some more stations. All right. I think this is the one I use, Babylon Village. It's hard to remember all of them. 70.5 right now. Rainfall, they got 0.58, so they got a little more rain from this storm. Yeah, they got up into the mid-80s, but not nearly as bad. Mid-80s, and then the sea breeze started kicking in by the afternoon, and they were just hovering around 80 with the dew point of 73. Not great, but better than what we were dealing with. But then look what happened when that came through. It even dropped over there for them as well. Impressive, very impressive to see that sharp curve, So let's go take a look and I will go to the North Shore too, and see what it did up there too. Let's go to North Patchogue. 38. It's the right one. And he probably got it too. Let's see what he got. 0.54, so he actually wound up getting more rain than we did. And 84.6 was his high, so a lot better than we were. He's not right on the South Shore, but he gets a better breeze than we do. He was getting a breeze today, obviously, and only got into the mid. Again, further out east in Suffolk County, the breeze goes further in. And not as dramatic of a drop because, again, the sea breeze was already cooling things off into the 70s in the evening. So it did drop. It still dropped about 10 degrees, which is pretty impressive, to say the least, with this line. I'm going to move in some more areas here. Let's go take a look at the North Shore areas and see how the North Shore did with this line. Let's go look at NYIT. Let's see, this is more like on the North Shore, so see how they did, because again the drop was probably even more dramatic there. So they got 0.31 inches. Let's see, waiting for the information to load here. Hold on. Why is it saying July 7th? It's not July 7th, July 6th. Yeah, that's about right. 92.8. Got like a little hotter on the North Shore versus here. And you can see, again, temperatures just hung out in the 90s pretty much most of the day, and upper 80s until that front came through, and then it went, boom, dropped almost 20 degrees. Well, not a front, but it did drop. It looks like, again, we have some missing data, so I don't know if this was a power outage or what happened over here. This was before the storm, so I can't say it was related to the power outage or not. But we can look at some other stations. Let's go to Port Washington, and let's see if they had that same dramatic effect over there. And then we're going to go look at some places in New Jersey, the other extreme of things. 72.2, 0.24, got up to 94. Pretty hot. Oh, yeah, look at Port Washington. So this is where there was really, they were in the 90s, so Port Washington's very hot, even hotter than Mineola. Nice place, but again, not a place I'd want to be because it's even hotter than here. And it's hot enough here. So, yeah, it got up to the mid-90s, 94, and then it dropped literally from 6:30. Went from 91.4 degrees to 72. So that is a 20-degree drop in temperature, 20-degree drop in temperature in a matter of, 10 to 15 minutes. That's impressive. They also reported a wind gust up to 40 miles an hour as well. So pretty impressive stuff going on. Pretty impressive with this gust front that came through. Now let's go to New Jersey to see if it's gotten to Tom's River yet. It has not. It is still warm there. Let's go look at the West Desert, which is 82. Still hot there. Gust front hasn't made it through there yet. I don't know if it looks like it did on the set, but you can see it just wasn't as intense, just because it had longer to travel, I guess. No rain, and it got up to 95.7. That's the hottest temperature I've seen so far. And that's pretty hot, 95. And look at those dew points, upper 70s. That is really impressive. And that's what you're dealing with in New Jersey, not just Ocean County, but even if you go further north, if you go and you look at places like South Orange, for instance, all right, which we're going to look at, which is actually a very nice area, by the way. I thought you don't realize how many nice areas there are in New Jersey that actually are. South Orange actually is an area that's fairly diverse, but is a very nice area. But that's the way it is in New Jersey. But if you're going to live there, you're going to have to deal with the heat. It is hot. Heat doesn't bother most people, so that's why a lot of people go there. Nice place to live. They got 0.55 with these storms, but they got up to 94.8. And you can see, again, mid-90s, they were pretty much sweltering. And then right around 6 o'clock, boom, off a cliff, the temperature dropped. Even a more drastic day, they had like a 25-degree temperature drop there. Obviously, being inland, wind gust up to 30 miles an hour there with that. So pretty impressive stuff. I'm going to have to look at some power outage maps and see how New Jersey did as far as these storms go. So let me go to the power outage map here, and we'll see. I guess I'll do PSEG New Jersey first. Well, let's do PSEG Long Island. Let me go back to this, keep this up, and see if any new outages have occurred. None so far. Let me go PSEG New Jersey, PSE and G outage map. Actually, the same company, but different. Oh boy, they do have a lot of people without power. So they have 19,540 people without power right now in New Jersey right now. Whoa, what happened there? So let's go take a look. We'll pull this out and we'll see. It looks like a lot of the outages are in that North Jersey area. We've got a lot of outages over here, not surprisingly. And I wouldn't be surprised if NJ Transit has been affected by this again, because these are some pretty strong storms, and this is when they really started to get going in New Jersey. A lot of different outages here. North Jersey, Essex, Passaic, all these counties being affected. We could do a summary here. Let's see. Let's see if it gives us a list by county. But yeah, it's quite a bit. I mean, I can go to the Power Outage US site as well. All right, JCP&L outage map. Let's see. Now, JCP&L is probably even worse. Let's see what they have. Oh, yeah, they're even worse. They have 65,000 customers. 65,384 customers without power right now. Not so much in the south, but as you go further north, that's where these storms hit. You got numerous outages in parts of northern Monmouth County, some around Tinton Falls. Again, due to those high winds. And, of course, the northern territory of JCP&L really got hammered. Morristown, Springfield. Well, that area doesn't look too bad. But it's just a lot of outages all over the place from these winds, bringing down tree limbs on the power lines. And again, you had wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, perhaps even greater. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some wind gusts, maybe up to 60, when we take a look at these storm reports, when we do eventually get a hold of them there. Newton looks like it's mostly out. Yeah, they have a lot of problems up there right now. A lot of problems. And we'll also go to the power outage map now, and we'll look at poweroutage.us. And yeah, NJ is actually shaded orange. The whole state has 91,886 people without power right now. And Sussex actually is hit very hard. Sussex, I wonder if Sussex REC is that's another electric company up there that I'll have to check as well. You can see Morris, Sussex, Warren. These are the hardest hit areas of New Jersey, so the northern part. Also Monmouth, Essex County a little bit, but the hardest definitely seems to be Sussex and Warren, and Somerset and Hunter and Morris counties in New Jersey seem to be the hardest hit as far as power outages go. Let's go look at New York. And Dutchess County seems to have a lot of outages, and we also have outages in Orange, some outages in Ulster as well. And Queens also, 5,000 power outages in Queens too, as well. 5,081. Not too much in Brooklyn, but Queens has a lot of above-ground power lines, so there's more power outages there. Brooklyn doesn't have as many. Manhattan doesn't have any power lines above ground, so no outages there. 806 in the Bronx, and 2,793 in Westchester out of power. So let's go to Sussex REC right now and see. That's another electric company here, and we'll see what's going on. I don't know if they've got an outage map. Outage map. Okay, so we'll get to see if they are. Yeah, they have a lot of outages here. A lot. I mean, outage map's kind of crude here, but you can see they were hit pretty hard, and they may have lost a couple of transmission lines. They have a lot of, old wood lines. Actually, they're fed from JCP&L, and those old wood lines are always going down. So we can see if they have anything on their Twitter about issues. Let's see if we do. They do not. So they're just warning people about the storms. Okay, so we go from one storm to another storm. Tropical Storm Elsa is no longer Tropical Storm Elsa. It is now Hurricane Elsa. That's right. I was worrying about this, and I was saying, this thing could become a hurricane again. I really wasn't expecting it to, but there was a part of me in the back of my head that was thinking, maybe this thing could actually do it, and it has. So let's get the latest public advisory on Hurricane Elsa. Elsa regains hurricane status southwest of Tampa Bay. Reconnaissance aircraft en route to investigate the hurricane. So, as of 8 p.m., its location 26.6 north, 83.1 west, about 100 miles south-southwest of Tampa, Florida. Maximum sustained winds up to 75 miles an hour. That makes it a Category 1 hurricane. Moving north at 360 degrees at 14 miles an hour, and minimum central pressure 996 millibars, or 29.41 inches. So a lot of stuff has changed, and we'll show you the warning map in a moment. Elsa is expected to continue moving north at 10 miles an hour, and this general motion is expected to continue through tonight, and then a turn toward the north-northeast is expected on Wednesday, followed by a faster motion late on Thursday. So it will move over portions of the west coast of Florida later that night and early Wednesday morning. Elsa is forecast to make landfall along the North Florida coast, Gulf Coast by late Wednesday morning, and then move across the southeastern United States through Thursday. Data from the Doppler weather radar in Tampa Bay indicate max sustained winds are near 73 miles an hour. We are going to look at that radar. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 20 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 90 miles from the center. Buoy 42013, located north of Elsa, recently reported a peak 1 minute sustained wind of 38 miles an hour, gusting to 47 miles an hour, and wind gust to 43 miles an hour, and it's at 69 miles an hour. 69 kilometers an hour, was recently reported on North Captive Island. And again, that minimum central pressure is 996 millibars, or 29.41 inches. Let's go look at the cone, the warning cone here, and you'll see what has changed. So now we have hurricane warnings in effect, tropical storm warnings in effect from the southern half, I guess, south of Tampa, and then north of Tampa, from Tampa on northward, you've got hurricane warnings in effect. And then around that, you have some tropical storm warnings for the rest of the Panhandle. Tropical storm warnings now in effect for parts of Georgia, and tropical storm watches in effect for South Carolina. And it has it moving over, weakening, but then it could become a tropical storm again once it gets back out over water again and comes kind of close to us. And the models keep wavering back and forth whether we're going to see the remnant, how close the remnant's going to get. Some of them take it. You'll see when we get to the models. You'll see how that changes with time. So let's go to this tropical tidbit site. They have not updated the name yet. It is now a hurricane. First, before we look at the satellite, let's go and look at the spaghetti models, and you see pretty much they all seem to keep it south of us now. So that's the good news. At least it doesn't look like the core of the remnants will ride up over our area. All right. Let's go look at the radar now from Tampa. And no, I'm not using this radar because it sucks. Let's use this one. And yes, we have the heat advisory in effect through tomorrow too, by the way. But here is Elsa right here. So you can see the outer bands already starting to get into parts of the coast here, and will probably start affecting Tampa very shortly, I'm sure, with wind and rain. You can also see a line of strong storms over there, but this is the line that, again, we were dealing with. So let's go look at the satellite image here. We gotta wait for this to load again. Got a lot of people using the site, so it's gonna be a little slow. But you can clearly see some really impressive convection. Looks like maybe weakening a little bit, maybe. I don't think it's gonna get any stronger, but the fact that this thing became a hurricane again is something I warned about. As part of me was expecting that there was a chance this could happen when everybody else was saying it wouldn't. And I mean, the Hurricane Center has underestimated this storm time and time again, because again, the models they use and the information they have just doesn't take into account the warmer world we live in and how much more energy these storms have to work with now because of that. So you can see still some nice convection blossoming up around it. We've got, let's take a look and see what other satellite, let's do a visible high res. So this is the visible high res. We're going to load this in before it gets dark. You can sort of see it get dark right there. And you can see there is the convection really popping up. No well-defined eye, but still, I see some really good convection north and east of the center still going there. So that means the storm is going to hold its own and probably won't weaken all that much before it makes landfall. So very impressive tropical systems. And like I said, we're just getting started. We're the earliest named E-storm in the season right now. This is quite impressive. So let's go to Florida right now. We're going to look at the models and see what this thing does. These models have already underestimated this thing. GFS seems to have, anyway. It's way deeper than 1,006 millibars, so that is not right. We're going to look at the HRRR and see if the HRRR, we'll go to the 18Z HRRR and see if this has done anywhat of a better job. But you can see it actually tightens it up even a little bit more. So don't be surprised. It could hold its own. It could maybe even become a little stronger. I don't think it would become that much stronger. But then again, this storm has surprised us. So this is the HRRR. You can see the west coast of Florida getting lashed with these rain bands. And then you can see it makes a landfall right over in this area of Florida right here sometime tomorrow in the early afternoon hours. And then the remnants would ride up through northern Florida, Jacksonville, then into Georgia, and then into North Carolina and South Carolina. And right now, this HRRR seems to have a stronger ridge, so it seems like this low seems to be, and it's still like intact even as it's over land, which is kind of really interesting there. Let's go look at the wind profile on this. So here's the wind profile, and you can see it holds its own with the winds. Actually, the winds seem to get stronger as we get into tomorrow morning. So could it strengthen even a little more? It is entirely possible. Again, because even though it's next to the land, you have all this warm water to work with, and that warm water is the fuel, the gasoline that fuels the engine of these storms. And as long as the center's over water, it will have access to that gasoline to keep accelerating. As far as its wind speed and its strength goes. There are some other models we can use. We can use the NAM-12 as well, which I'd like to use that as well. The NAM-12 actually seems a little closer to reality. The NAM-12 takes it way further west, though. I noticed that way further west. I'm not sure if I'm buying it's going to go that far to the west once it makes landfall. But you can see, and the winds again. NAM, I don't think the NAM the NAM is way too far to the west. I don't think it's going to be that far to the west. I really don't. Let's go back to GFS here. So GFS doesn't really have the storm. This GFS is underestimating this thing. But I agree with the track. And you can see what it does there. And I'll put this back to the precip here. And the other issue, of course, is all the rain that will fall. Even if the winds don't get you, look at all the rain that will fall. And I've reminded I really should bring some water when I do these long videos because my throat is scratchy because of allergies. Do apologize for that. Had to take a break. All right, so let's take a look at the total rainfall. And you can see here some areas could get up over the GFS as being too conservative. It's too conservative. I'm sorry. That is way too conservative. Let me go to the HRRR. Go to the 18Z run. 18Z, not 17Z. Is a little more realistic. I think you're going to see more like 3-4 inches of rain from this. All right. We're going to look at some other models like windy and stuff like that. So let's do that. So here is Elsa on windy. This is, again, using the European model. And I'll put this in the wind gusts. So you get an idea of, again, that's about right. 75-mile-an-hour storm right there. All right, so let's take a look at this on the Euro. And you can see it continues to hold its own here. Actually gets a little stronger as we get toward midnight. Look at that. So it's going to lash the coast here. Tampa, Sarasota. This whole area is just going to get lashed all night and tomorrow morning. And look at that. It actually picks up. It strengthens this thing even further. Could it become a Category 2? As it heads towards this area in Florida right here. The Euro seems to think yes. So, yeah, I think after seeing the models, I'd say, yeah, some further strengthening is not out of the question here. Even though the Hurricane Center may not seem to think so, they've been too conservative all along with this storm. You know, it's not good to be. I mean, you can't be too conservative with these storms, all right? Because a lot of people, there are no evacuations right now, and there really may need to be evacuations. Again, I don't know why they don't. I don't know. I've noticed this the past, ever since Orange Face was president, that they've been way too conservative with some of these forecasts, and I wonder if there's some kind of influence there going on with Wall Street and and again the climate change deniers. But anyway, it makes a landfall like around Jenna, I guess, and then it moves into and it still has some decent wind gusts even once it gets inland, because it's relatively flat over here, so it's going to take a little while to lose its energy, and this is what it looks like here for Thursday. And you can still see it's bringing some wind gusts of up to 50 miles an hour into South Carolina, so it could cause some damage there. And then here's the European here, and look at that as it gets closer to us. Here it is over Delmarva. We're still seeing wind gusts possible 70 miles an hour. So it seems like it wants to look at what it does. It's actually strengthening it. Just that this is the European, which would be bad for us because literally off the South Shore, we could be dealing with wind gusts up to 53 miles an hour. We could have tropical storm conditions possible over parts of our area. Look at offshore what we're dealing with here. 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This is the European model, all right? Now, granted, this is the European model, but, it may be onto something here. And again, all that warmer water, the storm has energy. As long as the storm is close to the ocean, it can get some of that fuel, and then once it reemerges back out over the ocean again, it's getting fuel again. It's get strengthened and it got warmer than normal ocean temperatures offshore. So let's go back to now. We're going to look at the other model. This is the European, so we're going to go and look at the GFS now, which is much weaker with the storm. And obviously, I think the GFS has this thing underestimated. I mean, no, it's way too weak. All right, but we'll look at the GFS. And you can see it just doesn't have a very strong storm here. Has it weakening, and this GFS has underestimated this thing time and time again. And obviously, if we were to look at the GFS, you would see it looks like it does develop a pretty strong low-level jet over our area for Thursday. So again, we need to watch this thing. we need to watch this thing because it may have some effect on our area. I'm not writing it off yet, not by a long shot. That's for sure. So, yeah, very concerning situation here with Hurricane Elsa. And we're going to now go into our area and look at the weather we're going to have for the next couple of days. I guess we'll go to the temperatures on this HRRR model, and we'll go from there. So, as we get into tomorrow here. So, still going to be muggy tonight. Lows maybe getting down around 70. It won't drop much more than that. And tomorrow, it really blazes in Jersey, man. You're going to be mid-90s, upper 90s, but with the southerly flow, it looks like Long Island will only be in the 80s, maybe low to mid-80s, and maybe even 70s on the South Shore. And that's probably because of a very strong southerly flow with that huge difference there between New Jersey and Long Island. Then a muggy night for Thursday, and then we have this front that's going to come through. You'll see when we look at the precipitation because we will have a chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night as well. You'll see here Thursday significantly better for Long Island, maybe only upper 70s, low 80s. It will remain humid, but still could be hanging on to 90s in New Jersey. Now, when I put this onto the dew points, you will see here that the dew points, you can see the winds kind of swing around to the northwest for a little bit, and then they go southerly. And almost a little southeasterly, though there is a bit of a westerly component here as well. So I'm wondering if it's underestimating this a little bit as far as the heat getting on the Long Island tomorrow, but it does seem to have a strong southerly flow by the evening. But you can see the dew points are definitely up there, and you can see here's that front that's going to stall out just to our north there. All right, so here is the GFS, and we'll look at, again, this kind of gives you an idea of this front that Elsa could ride right up along. Could be like a railroad track and ride right up along through our area, which is what I think is going to happen. Because, again, you can never underestimate stall front syndrome and how much it can screw us. And it will screw us this weekend, I think, or at least for Friday. Then Elsa pulls away, and we try to get some drier air in later on the weekend. But then look at what happens next week. We're right back in the humidity again, and also, I think, the heat. So let's go look at the GFS for the temperatures as we look at tomorrow. And GFS is a little more widespread with the 90s getting into Nassau County. So I think this is a little more realistic than the HRRR, honestly. I don't see how the sea breeze is going to save us in Mineola tomorrow. I think we're going to see 90 again. The South Shore will be the place to be. If you're in Jersey, forget it. You're going to be dealing with mid-90s. And then for Thursday, cooler. Friday, we are dropping, again, with cloud cover, showers, 70s. And cool on Saturday with mid-70s. And this is Sunday, so stays cool at least. But enjoy that break because I think it's going to heat right back up. Here's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can see heat. Friday, and especially as we get to this time frame here, GFS keeps trying to really put in some really big heat over us. We're going to have to see. But it's still a lot of above normal days and a lot of stall fronts. Not really any low dew point air getting in here at all. I mean, I could run this right through to the end and you'll see. We don't get into any really low dew point air. We're dealing with stall front syndrome, humidity, because, again, there is no jet stream to really move anything along. Again, if we do look at the jet stream, which we will do toward the end of this video, you'll see that. So let me go back to the HRRR, and let's go to the precipitation here. I don't normally talk for this long, so it's unusual that I talk for this long. We've been going for 40 minutes already for this weather update because there's just so much going on. So the showers, thunderstorms move away tonight. We're dry tomorrow. Let me move this back to the 18Z1 so we can go a little further than 17 than early tomorrow afternoon. So you can see some showers and thunderstorms will pop up tomorrow night as well. They won't be severe, but that's associated with this weak front. And that's the remnants of Elsa right there. All right, so and that will have to be watched for Friday. So this right here is Thursday. It looks just cloudy. And probably I mean, this is as far as it goes in the afternoon, as far as Thursday goes. But I think we'll avoid rain for most of the day on Thursday. So now let's go to the NAM, and I'll also look at the NAM because it does go a little further. And we'll look at the NAM for tomorrow as well. So this is the NAM for tomorrow, and you can see it's still developing something. Here's a little later, around 9, 10 o'clock. some line of pretty bad thunderstorms just north of New York City trying to make their way into Nassau County, perhaps. And then for Thursday, not much of anything going on. Maybe a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms to the north of the area. It stays to the north. But this is the NAM, and you can see the NAM is lifting Elsa right into our area for Friday. All right, and if we were to look at the wind speeds, you see it's going to be a little windy. All right, so the remnants of Elsa or whatever is, if it's extratropical, hybrid, or whatever, we're going to feel some effects from Elsa. I don't think we get away with no effects. I really don't. That's extremely unlikely at this point. Let me go look at the skies now. So you can see those clouds from the storm. Tomorrow we'll have some clouds. Probably not a nice blue sky. Probably hazy like today. We're probably still going to be dealing with that smoke, I think. But we'll have sunshine and then the chance for showers and thunderstorms later on. Thursday we'll have a lot more clouds around, I think. But it'll just be cloudy and not as hot. Let's go to the RGM here. This is the RGM for tomorrow, and you can see just hazy sunshine pretty much. For Thursday, much more in the way of high cloudiness, probably filtered sunshine, you could say. But as far as a clear day goes, I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know. This seems to think maybe a little Friday afternoon, but this is a ways out, and I'm not even going to go that far out because there's just so much to talk about in the short term that we've got to talk about. So let me go now to the jet stream, and we got to change this back to the GFS and look at the jet stream here. Change the regions back to North America to show you the screwed up jet stream we have. You notice here, look at that huge Atlantic ridge. I mean, that is just a monster of an Atlantic ridge right there. And you can see the jet stream just barely existing right here. Very weak, very fractured. Look at this. It's just a complete mess. Fractured, split up. There's really nothing. And again, that's because of the rapid warming that you're getting in the Arctic, which we all know about that. I'm not even going to get into because I've got into it in a million other videos. We've got to deal with Elsa. We've got to deal with the severe weather. Well, I think we're almost done with the severe weather. But really impressive storm system here. Just so much going on, and I'm sure I can't even cover everything that's going on right now. And it looks like now we have severe thunderstorm warnings for New Jersey now. It looks like I do see warnings popped up for these cells here on that map. Of course, this map doesn't show it, but it looks like there are severe thunderstorm warnings for Ocean County now. So the Jersey Shore now being affected by this line of storms. And it's still raining out there, too. So we're still getting rain as well behind this whole complex going on across the area. I think that will almost wrap it up, but I just want to check there. One other thing I want to check out, see if the storms damaged any public transportation systems across the area here. It does not. All right, there was debris on the tracks here. 522 Long Island City is late through Hicksville due to debris on the tracks, probably from the storm. But other than that, nothing really too bad. We go to MJ Transit. I bet you they're being affected a lot worse. Let's see. Yes, Bergen rail line is suspended between Rutherford and Ridgewood in both directions due to a downed tree on the tracks. Gladstone branch is suspended between Summit and Sterling in both directions. And you'll notice substitute bus service is being provided. So NJ Transit is having some major problems due to the storms. And let's see, 90-minute delay system-wide. So that whole area got hit very hard. That whole area. Some of these 110 minutes late. Oh my God, that is absolutely dreadful. And then they had equipment availability issues. 90-minute late, and they canceled the 7:20 departure from Long Branch. Pascack rail is resumed, so there was earlier suspension of service. So yeah, a lot of problems on New Jersey Transit with these storms. Again, these storms just wreaking havoc across the entire area pretty much. And I would like to see if there was some storm reports issued here for probably not. But as soon as I'll make another video about that one because this one is certainly long enough. So that's going to be it. Stormy night across the area. Now we watch Elsa. and we'll see where Elsa heads. But like I said, I think this thing is gonna make a landfall as a hurricane. I don't see it. Does not look like it's gonna be weakening anytime soon. Just you cannot underestimate all the effects that this warmer world that we live in is doing, and it's just going to exponentially get worse. It's going to be a rough ride. You better hold on tight. Have a good night, everybody.